Thank you, Justin. I love that introduction. It's so exciting. So, table topics, I'm the table topics master. So, what table topics is I ask questions, and the participants in the meeting will give a 1 to 2 minute response. And there'll be a 30-second grace period on each side of the response. So, if you're 30 minutes under the 1 minute, or if you're 30 minutes over the or 30 seconds over the 2 minute mark. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to get those questions up there. Could I have screen sharing privileges?
Also, minor correction, it's a 15-second grace period under 1 minute.
15 seconds. Thank you, Justin.
You're welcome.
I said minutes too, it's seconds. Imagine we all talk for 30 minutes. So today, I figured we should talk about life, because why not? I want to do a pretty presentation, so I put stars around it. So the first question is, when was the last time you tried something new? And oh no, that's not. And this could be, this year, 2 years ago, a week ago, yesterday, today, anytime really. You can pick whichever one you want.
I can go.
Yeah, take it away.
All right. The last time I tried something new was last weekend. I have one of the strangest diets ever. I hardly eat any fruits and vegetables. For example, at the end of 2019 was the first time I tried an apple. I'd never eaten an apple before in my life. So I'm trying really hard to incorporate more vegetables into my diet. And it hasn't been going well. I tried cooking them in stir fries, but then I ended up making too much food and it didn't work. I've tried trying them by themselves, for example, like going to the cafeteria and just having a carrot or something, and that also didn't go too well. There has been some success with that, but just not that much. So what I've started doing is taking the foods that I normally eat and telling them, and that I tell the restaurant workers to remove the vegetables from, I've started keeping the vegetables on them. So last weekend I had a gyro that had lots of lettuce and tomato, and it was a lot. It was a lot of lettuce and tomato. But I tried it. I ate it, and it was, I didn't die. So that's me trying something new. And I think if I keep doing this, I think I can eventually like vegetables, but it's going to take some more time for sure for me to eat them in a more healthy way. So back to you, Tori.
Thank you, Justin. Glad you're still here. I know vegetables were definitely not my favorite thing either. Like growing up, my mom was the one that was always forcing me to eat my broccoli, and it just never worked out. Okay, so next question is, what do you wish you spent more time doing 5 years ago? And I put 5 years ago to kind of leave it more broad and open, so it could be anywhere between that time frame, but you can definitely go outside of that box if you want to.
I can give this one a shot, Tori. Oh,
Yeah, go.
is that Courtney go? If you want to take this one, that's okay. Okay. So right now I'm a third year at UGA, so just reached 20 years old. So 5 years ago, well, I was 15, and coincidentally enough, that was also the last time I visited my relatives in the Philippines. So a little bit of background about me. Both my parents are Filipino. We immigrated to the US when I was just a baby. And pretty much every time since then, we've gone back. We've been fortunate to go back to the Philippines every 5 years. Now, all of my relatives, from cousins, aunts, grandparents, second cousins, everyone is in the Philippines. So every time when I grew up and it comes time to the holidays and I come back from the holidays, everyone's like, oh, so what did you do? And I'd always hear stories of, oh, I was over at my cousin's house, or, oh, I was over at my grandparents' house eating like their famous dish or something like that. And sometimes I have a teeny bits of jealousy because, what's a great time to spend at the holidays then with your loved ones, except that majority of them are on the other side of the world. So every time I go back, it's really an opportunity to connect with my family members. Now, as each of those 3 visits went by, they coincidentally got shorter as life becomes busier, as you grow older and more responsibilities are on you, and especially 2015. So I was just about to enter my sophomore year, I believe. And so, of course, it's like that prep for college, and there's like more of those serious discussions and all that. And so now we're here in 2020, 5 years later, when supposedly we're maybe not supposed to, but ideally we would have liked to visit our family over in the Philippines. But with the situation now, right, maybe it's not the best, and just making sure to stay safe and all of that. So long story short, one thing I wished I spent more time doing 5 years ago, I was really connecting and staying and really just exchanging those stories more so with family members, especially now. Like, yes, there is opportunity to connect with them virtually, but with like the 12-13 hour time difference, not always the easiest. And now I realize time is running out. Long blurb, that's it. Back to you, Tori.
Thank you, Tricia. Yeah, it's tough. Like, that's why we're talking about it, you know? That's why it's the theme. Life gets in the way, and now there's all the stuff that's stressful right now. But that's a cool fun fact. I feel like you should use that for a job interview, or not a job interview, sorry. When you go around like the workspace and they're like, oh, fun fact, like my family's literally in the Philippines. Like, that's so cool. So the next question is, what is the difference between living and existing? So you can give 2 different, I know, guys, I'm getting deep. I'm sorry.
I could go ahead and take this one, Tori.
Yeah, you take it away.
So my mic was muted, but I definitely went whoa to myself when I heard you say this one's definitely getting a little deep. But I think the difference between living and existing is simply what you do with your life. If you're living, then you're actively making an impact on others. Existing means you're just passively floating through life, having everything just handed to you, just going with the flow, almost in a negative way. Going with the flow can be a great term in a positive light too. But living means you make an impact. And these impacts, even if they're small, they can be big to your own life. So if it's just helping your own family or your own community, or they could be even bigger than your own life. So that's really the key distinction between living and existing. Some other examples would be simply helping a neighbor take care of their dog when they go out for vacation, or helping solve the worldwide problem of strays around the world. So it's making that impact that improves everyone's lives. Because I think that's what everyone wants to see, is an improvement on our time here on Earth. And I don't think that can be done by simply existing. And another aspect of living would be finding your purpose. So I ask everyone to find your purpose in life. Back to you, Tori.
Thank you. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, I think. I think it's really important to make sure that you're doing an impact around the community and making sure that you're giving back rather than just like exactly what you said, existing. So thank you, Slate. So the next question is, which activities make you lose track of time? Hobbies, fun things, TV shows. I like Impractical Jokers personally.
I can take this one.
Yeah, go for it.
So which activities make me lose track of time? So I think that word should be singular, because there's only one activity that makes me lose track of time, and that's being on TikTok. Just scrolling through TikTok, I could end up staying up to 4 or 5 a.m. scrolling TikTok. It is by far the worst when it comes to time management. Like, you think those 15-second videos don't add up, but when you look at your clock, oh man, it is really bad. From anything from cat videos to pranks to sports highlights to dances, you name it. TikTok is by far the most time wasted app. It's worse than Instagram. It's worse than Snapchat because at least when you're on Instagram or Snapchat, you can finish going through all of your friends' feeds. But with TikTok, it never ends. It's like you can keep scrolling for years. And so that's why TikTok is by far the worst app when it comes to time management. So when I have exams or when I need to get something done, I just delete the app. Thank you so much, Tori. Back to you.
Thank you, Noah. Yeah, that's so funny. I was not expecting that answer at all, but it makes so much sense. Like, that is definitely my number one too, like, by far. Oh, it's so bad. And they don't put the time in the top corner too. I swear they do it on purpose, make you lose track. Thank you, Noah. Okay, so the next one is, have some of your greatest fears ever come true? This can be like, maybe people are gonna like laugh at you for public speaking. Like, obviously that's not gonna come true.
I can try to take this one.
Yeah, go for it.
And also, I had a question. Do
Yeah.
I time myself for this as well?
I can time you I can time you.
Okay, I was wondering.
Just so it doesn't, yeah, it's just so you don't have to think about it.
Okay.
Okay, you got it.
Okay. So, yes, one of my greatest fears has indeed come true. So, I am deathly afraid of spiders. Doesn't matter how big or small or poisonous or non-poisonous they are. I just hate those creepy crawly spiders. And this fear is not necessarily my greatest fear, but honestly, anything involving spiders is pretty up there. And this fear is a very specific fear. I don't know where it came from or why it happened, but I was always afraid of seeing a spider in the shower. I hate it. I don't know why. I'm at my most vulnerable. It's terrible. And unfortunately, one day I was thinking, it's not gonna happen, right? Like, why would it be there? It's such a weird, random fear. Like, it's not gonna happen. But one day, lo and behold, it did. I got on the shower. I was ready to like do everything, but I saw it. It was this teeny tiny little spider just in the corner, and I was like, "What is that dot?" And as I looked closer and closer, I saw it move, and I realized that it was a spider. And so I quickly got out, and I was wondering what I should do. Thinking really, really hard, I decided, should I either go get help to try to kill it, or should I stay there and watch it, try to drown it with some water? I wasn't sure this way or that way. I didn't know, but in the end, I decided to go get my sister and have her kill it because I did not want it anywhere near me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm a runner when it comes to spiders for sure. So if I had seen that in my shower, I would leave. I would probably move out, to be honest. Okay, so next question. Where would you most like to go and why? So I guess this is like more of a location question. If you've ever wanted to travel anywhere, you could take it that way.
I can do this one.
Yeah, go for it.
So I got my undergraduate degree in Boulder, Colorado, and it was such an amazing place to live. I miss it all the time. I lived on this cute little boarding house. Well, the boarding house was kind of a hot mess. I lived with 11 girls. But outside of that, it was a cute little boarding house that was in the foothills, and we could just go on a hike whenever. It was no big deal. Just walk outside, climb up a mountain, and it was some of the fun, most amazing, memorable experiences of my life. Colorado also has a lot of really amazing vegan food, and Georgia's catching up. Kroger has an entire vegan section now, and I don't know when that happened, but I am so happy about it. They have vegan bread, they have everything, and that's really crazy because a couple of years ago, you could not get any of these items, and now they have everything from butter to milk to eggs, everything vegan. So I would love to live in Colorado because I would have access to those types of foods and also access to the mountains and just the ability to just I feel like live a little bit freely. They are a little bit more environmentally conscious there. And so, when I grew up in Georgia, not a lot of people were accepting of the Black hippie girl. But it's changing. But yes, thank you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, that sounds like honestly a dream. I would love to go hiking in the mountains right now. And I feel like Trader Joe's too is getting there they're going in that direction too. They're more on the organic trend right now. I guess they've always been. But thank you, Courtney. Yeah, I'd love to go to the mountains. Jeez. Why does my computer hate me? What is your happiest childhood memory and what makes it so special? We're doing a throwback right now. We're going through all the spectrums of life.
I can try to take that one.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. So yeah, you were right about, taking a trip down memory lane. Oh gosh, it's been so long, like at least a decade ago. But I think one of the happiest childhood memories I have is remembering when I had a Nintendo Switch. Or actually, no, I didn't have a Nintendo Lite, I think. A 2DS, I think that's what it was called. I don't remember. But my older sister had a 2DS, and I did not at that point in time. But I remember just, our relationship being really at its best. And we would just kind of like gather around that little console and those two square, like bright squares. And like at whatever time it was, when our parents were like busy making food or busy working, it didn't matter when, she'd turn on the on button and flip the console open and start playing something. And I just remember watching her play like Mario Kart or Pokemon or any one of those games, and I just be so content just watching her and her exclaim loudly in different emotions and frustration and an excitement from getting a new Pokemon or whatever it was, or beating her high score. And honestly, I was just so happy just to be there. And I think it makes it so special because I think our bond was just like very close at that time. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. That's so tender. I love that. My brother and I were not close with that. We would definitely yell at each other when we were playing Mario Kart. So you had a happy memory with that. That's awesome. All right. So the next question, what is one thing you have not done that you really want to do? If anyone has a bucket list, now's the time to just spell it.
I guess I can do this.
Sorry, you can go.
Either one. You got it. Justin, you want to go for it?
Okay. One thing I would like to do is travel around more. So I'd like to go to Italy, try all the pasta, and just eat all of it as much as I can hold, which is a lot. I know I look skinny, but I can hold a lot of food. And then I would like to go after that straight over to Jerusalem. I think it'd be really cool to like walk around the Holy Land and do that kind of religious pilgrimage stuff. Go to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which is sort of the tomb of Jesus, where Jesus was buried, sort of in that historical site. It's the altar table that they use is actually the tomb itself, so it's kind of pretty cool. And they have on one side, they have the service going on in Arabic, on the other side of the church, they have the service going on in Greek. So it's really interesting. Ancient Greek, not modern Greek. But that would be cool. And then straight from there, I'd like to go over to Mount Athos, which is otherwise known as the Holy Mountain. This place is where there are a lot of Christian monastics. And there are some crazy things that happen on that mountain. I have heard so many stories from people that I know and from strangers that have visited. And I would just love to meet some of those people. They have so much wisdom and so much spiritual power and so many they're just blessed with so many spiritual gifts. I'd love to visit there. So that is the one thing I would like to do because I like to travel. And those are the three places. It's like the Trinity concept of 1 and 3. Yeah. Or 3 and 1. Anyway, back to you, Tori.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, I would love to travel to those places too. You said Italy, and I was like, yes, I was like the best place. I've wanted to go there for so long. Maybe we can do a trip together after this whole Corona thing's over. Okay, my computer keeps. Okay, there we go. If I could grant you one wish, what would you wish for? So now I'm Jeannie.
I can do this one.
Yeah, go for it.
If I could get one wish, I hope this doesn't sound really like a horrible answer, but it would probably just be like $500 million. Just because I'm just tired. Like if I could just have the opportunity to just live my life however I want, that's the life that I want. And I feel like that's the easiest way to make sure that happens is to make sure that I am financially free from all of the responsibilities of life. I am so bogged down by rent payments and gas, and I had to pay a $60 gas turn on fee the other day, and that makes no sense because I paid a turn on fee for the power too, and I paid a turn on fee for the internet as well. So what's going on? Like I just don't think that these are reasonable charges. But if I had $500 million, I wouldn't be worrying about that. I could buy my friends some houses, and I could make sure that my loved ones, had everything they needed. If they, have any health complications, I knew I could take care of them. And so money really is the key to happiness, I think, unfortunately, just because money frees you in a way that most things can't free you, unfortunately. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Courtney. Yeah, that was a great answer. I completely agree with you. I was watching everybody else's faces and they were like nodding. They were like, yes, yes, so accurate. Like, wish we could all be financially free and just travel the world. Go to Italy and Jerusalem. That would be great. Okay, next. I just want to make sure we're good on time too. Okay. When you think of home, what specifically do you think of?
I can take this one, Tori.
Yeah, you got it.
When I think of home, first thing I think of is a bed. It's where I go to sleep every night. It's where I feel the most safe. I also think of the roof that I'm so blessed to have over my head, provided me by my family. I also think of just everything that surrounds me. And that includes, I think of homemade meals. When I think of home, that either I've managed to cook up myself somehow, definitely by recipe because I'm not well versed in cooking, or one of my parents made for us all. I also think a lot about pets, or dogs or cats. I've always had an animal family. We even had rabbits before. So those are just all the things I think of home, all those great things. I even think about the holiday season is really what I think when I hear home. That Thanksgiving or Christmas time when we're all just together. And the reality of it is holidays can get a little tense sometimes, but there are those sweet moments when we all come together and it's the best time. you could have. You all just share stories. I'm sure this year there won't be as many that'll be fantastic to hear, but just share stories that you've had, throughout life or general. So those are all the great things that really happen when I think of home. So thank you, Tori.
Yeah, thank you, Slate. I'm so glad that you didn't say something like more like location, like you were saying, like family and holiday season and telling stories and things like that. I think that's so awesome. That's what I think of when I think of home too, is homemade meals, especially when my mom cooks chili like she did today. It's a blessing. Next question is, when have you worked hard and loved every minute of it?
I can give this one a shot, Tori.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I was fascinated by piano, just so many white keys, so many black keys, and the different shapes, and like if you look at it like a glossy grand piano, or it just looks so pretty. And so I begged my mom, like, Mom, like, I'm looking at the TV right now, QVC is on, they have a holiday special for a keyboard, can I please get one? And that year, that my wish came true. And so I was lucky enough to take some classes and at least get the foundations and the basics down so I could go ahead and learn my own piece. And so it comes down to the year of 2013, and then came the worldwide phenomenon of Frozen. Let it go, let it go. I feel like I want to let go of 2020. But anyways, my family and I, we went to go watch the movie in theaters. So I was about 13. My brother is like about 9 or 10. But the person I least expected to really love that movie was my dad. He really insanely loved that movie that when we went home and like the following week after, he would play the Frozen soundtrack. And of course, his favorite song is Let It Go. And so it comes time closer to my dad's birthday, which is also coincidentally my parents' anniversary. And my mom's like, what would be a good gift? If you learn how to play Frozen on the piano. It's like, oh, like, am I ready for that? So I'm like looking online for sheet music. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the most complicated thing I've ever seen. Just like the chord patterns, and like I've never played in this key. And so literally, even though my dad was right there in like the living room doing his own work, I was on the keyboard every day. Sometimes, like if I had a full weekend, I would sit on the piano for 8 hours, just going my way slowly, measure by measure, repeating lines and making sure I was able to do it. And I loved every minute of it. So much so, like it's that drive where like you forget sometimes to eat, or you forget like the environment around you because you're just pursuing that one goal. And yeah, I think anytime that there's something that you're passionate about, like what Slate said, go ahead and pursue it with your purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. That is so sweet. That's so sweet of you to do for your dad. That's awesome. I love Frozen too. So I forgot about that song actually. Probably gonna play that when I'm running. Don't want to run tomorrow. Oh, it's a long one. Okay. If you were forced to eliminate every physical possession from your life with the exception of what you could fit into a single backpack, what would you put in it? So about the size of a school backpack.
I can take this one.
Yeah, you got it.
And so it's 2020, and I need a life backpack basically. So it would definitely be, the necessities: water, ramen noodles, canned goods, my phone charger. I don't need my laptop. That's too heavy. Maybe a pen, something I can jot down some notes on, paper, cup, bowl, spoon, fork, some drawers. Oh, never mind. Underclothes, backpack, and honestly, it would just contain like maybe a few things from history here and there, and just things that will sustain me. It will really force me to think about what's needed and what's wanted in life, and I think that's very important. Like, it's very important just to sit down one day and just think about, do I really need this thing? When you go to the store and you just have that extra money in your bank account, you just think about, do I really need this thing? And then you realize that you don't need it. And so I think it's very important to think back and just take a moment and think about, if you could fit everything into one backpack, what would it be? Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. Yeah, you also hit the nail on the head. That's kind of where the question, that's what I was trying to get at, and you like articulated that really well. And I love how simple your answer was too. All the essentials: food, water, phone. Okay, next question is it better to have loved and lost, or to never have loved at all? Wow, I'm really going deep on these questions.
I can take this one too, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
So I feel like this is something that I've thought about a little bit, because I love having dogs. Like, I love having pet dogs, and it's something that is a huge joy of my life. Like, I've had a dog ever since I had my own apartment, because I just need that companionship, and I love my dog, and she keeps me company, and she loves me unconditionally. Like, every time I go home, it's like I left for war or something and came back 3 years later. She's just always so excited and happy to see me. But one of the things that sucks about having pet dogs is that they don't live as long as you do. They live for significantly shorter periods than you do. And I always think about like people will be like, oh, well, once I have one dog, I can't get another because I'm gonna miss the other dog. And I don't know. I want to keep giving homes to dogs for as long as I can. I love my dog so much, and I would never want to replace her or anything. But it is kind of like a really sad thing, like that your dogs die and you can't continue being a forever home for them. But yeah, I think it's important to have loved, and I think that it's really meaningful to your pets. And, as long as you're giving them the best life possible, that's all that really matters. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Courtney. Yeah, I actually saw your dog a little bit. He hopped up on your lap earlier, and I was like, that's so cute. Yeah, I agree. Dogs are the best when it comes to companionship. What is the nicest thing someone has ever done for you? I know there's some good deeds floating around. There's gotta be.
I'll take this question.
Yeah, you got it.
So I'm going to kind of spin this in an interesting way, hopefully. It's really hard to think about the nicest thing someone's ever done for me. And you're right, Tori, there are plenty of good deeds going around. There are so many nice things people have done for me. But I have this thing called negativity bias that just distorts everything and is like, oh, we're only going to remember the really bad things, or like we're only going to remember the really small minor things. But for some reason, the big nice stuff we're just going to forget about. And it's like, what's with that, brain? Like, hey, chill out. Like, work properly. This is not right. I mean, I can think of things, that are nice, like all the stuff my grandfather did for me growing up. That was really nice. He taught me how to, run around and hammer things and put belts on lawnmowers, like all kinds of crazy stuff. He took me to Waffle House once a week. Like those are really nice things, but I just like have in my head, that's not the nicest thing. There's something else missing and you can't remember. What is it? And I don't know. And that's frustrating. So that is something I am going to pray about and ask God to reveal to me, because I don't like the fact that my brain has filtered that out. That's just that it would make me more balanced of a person. It would make me more human if I could remember that, so that I could then do something like that for someone else as a show of thanks, both to God and to the person that did that for me. So thank you so much, Tori.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. I definitely agree. Our minds kind of go in the bad direction a lot, and we look at the negative things, but there's a lot of good things in the world, a lot of good people, cool things, cool places to see. So yeah, maybe we should all think, honestly, I'm going to journal that. I'm just going to start journaling all the nice things that people do, because there's so many. All right, next question. I have 3 more. I think I have time for 3 more. Maybe 1 more.
Yeah, I do maybe one.
Let's end with, let's do this one. What will you never do? Oh, or we could do that one. Let's do this one. What will you never do? Unless you want to take this one. What made you smile this week? Either one. Is there anything that made someone smile this week?
I can try.
Yeah, you got it, Kaylee.
I'll do the one from before. I know it's a little bit more like heavy, but I had a very clear answer in my head, so I'll just go with that one.
For sure.
Something that I will never do is cheat, I think. And I guess that can also be like maybe extended to like friendships, like talking behind people's back, or even just something like that. I think that when it comes to relationships, if you have created this bond with somebody, whether that be a friendship or something more romantic, or literally any other kind of relationship, I think that like you have created this bond, and if it means something important to you, then you shouldn't like treat it like anything less than it is. And I think that your bonds kind of define you, and how you treat those bonds also says a lot about who you are as a person. And I think that you should treat them with care, and cheating doesn't really have any place in that. I think that that other person whom you have cherished for even a small period of amount of time, like they deserve your respect. If you have lost feelings, or if you don't think that that relationship will pan out in the end, I think that they still have that right to be respected and let go in a mature way. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaylee. Yeah, you went deep with that question, but I love it. I was thinking like, I'm never going to skydive. Like, I don't know, but I love that. That's such an amazing quality to have. Like, that's such a cherished, especially, nowadays with like social media, it's like easier to go behind someone's back, but that's such an awesome quality to continue to have with others. Okay, so I think that's going to be our last question, because I don't want to take up too much more time and not have enough time for evaluators. So I will go ahead and hand it back to our Toastmaster, Justin.
All right, thank you so much for that wonderful table topics section. We're going to do two things in the next 45 seconds. First thing you're going to do is look at that list that Tricia sent in the chat, and then you're going to PM Noah with your first and second choice. So first choice will be the person you think had the best and table topic, and then the second choice is the person that had the second best. Then, if you will be so kind to message Tori and give her any feedback that you have, whether it be my computer just went berserk. Whether it be what you liked or constructive criticism, it is all welcome. So let's see that now in the next. I will shorten to 30 seconds. All right. So we will now move on to our third and final section of the meeting, and it is possibly the most important section. I know you asked, but it's very important. To lead us in this section, I will introduce our Vice President of Membership. Please welcome to the stage, Tricia Perez.
Thank you, Justin, for that